Welcome back to Central Valley Today. The Big Tell is a regional filmmaking program that offers grants for the production of short documentaries. This year, 10 filmmakers featured stories from California's Great Central Valley. And you can watch the Big Tell Showcase right here on KC24, Saturday, November 26th at 8 p.m. And that is where you can see this next film in its entirety. So today we take a peek into the film The Fighter. Let's take a look.
Just imagine, take two people, you throw them in a cage, and it's locked from the outside. There's no way out unless you tap, nap, or jump over the cage. Felt like the movies when you're watching The Gladiator. Everybody's cheering for them, and it's kind of surreal. I remember I was elbowing her in the face. I was like, I'm actually fighting somebody, and people are cheering me on to do it. As a single parent who was struggling, oh, I can't do it, I have my kid. Bring your kid. Let them see you working. Have them help you. I'd get back on Sunday, and that very Monday, I'd be back at work. The kids were just like, I couldn't believe I saw you on TV fighting. And they always wanted to talk about it. I say, listen, you can be from a small town and make big noise. You don't have to just get stuck. Small town girl, big time noise.
And joining us now is filmmaker Zach Green, and he brought along Jackie Schuster. So you guys were here last year to discuss your Big Tell film last year. So let's tell everybody what the roles are and how you two sort of work together.
Sure, yeah. So my organization, Zach Green Films, we created the film, and Jackie works there. She's a coordinating producer there, so she was a big part of starting this story, figuring out how we're going to make this story, and then following it along and making sure that we got the right footage that we needed for it.
Right, right. Okay, last year when we talked, you were in high school, right?
I was in my freshman year of college.
No, you were in your freshman year of college. It was close.
Close enough,
okay, so now you're a sophomore.
I am a sophomore.
All right, so in this film, how did you guys find this story, and how did you go about starting it and getting in touch with people? What was that process like?
Yeah, so Zach actually met Marion a few years ago. He had to do some contracted filming with her for the UFC, and then we met her again when we were filming for Lemoore High School. And she had talked about how she had never had someone tell her story before, and she wanted to do that. So we reached back out to her again this summer, and we were like, do you want to do this film? And she was like, I'd love to do this film. And so from there, it was mostly just working with her. We didn't have to reach out to too many other people. She made a lot of the communication pretty easy, yeah.
Well, that's good. Sometimes the stories just fall into your lap. People out there are like, I don't know who can tell my story, but I want somebody to do it for me. So when you started out, did you know what story you were going to tell?
Well, I can take that. Yeah, I think that the most interesting thing is this is a woman who was still at the time a Farmersville PE teacher, but she was competing at the highest level in the UFC, and she was one of the top 10 women in the UFC and fighting against the biggest names that you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
And so to me that was just super intriguing. I didn't know what story we were going to tell from that, other than she's a PE teacher and she's a UFC fighter at the same time. And she goes back and teaches PE on Monday. So we thought that was really interesting, and we just thought we'd go interview her and figure out what else is going on there.
Did you find any other stories or any other branches of this story where you're like, wow, I didn't think we were going to uncover that?
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, we didn't know that she had hit such a low point in her life in her 20s when she was a single mom trying to make it work on her own. And at a certain point, she didn't even have enough food really to eat.
Let alone
what
be
she
this
wanted,
like great
normal.
athlete, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we didn't know that she had struggled so much raising her son for so many years before she broke out and became this great athlete.
And so so you've now done 2 Big Tell documentaries?
Yes.
So what is this teaching you about the storytelling process?
It's taught me so much. I feel like I learned a lot last year, and I've learned even more this year. It's really fun to get to learn the best way to kind of fit the puzzle pieces together of these different stories. There's so many different branches that you could take with the storytelling.
Yeah.
Like Zach was saying, we didn't know that we were going to focus so much on what her life was like before fighting and how fighting really turned her life around for the better. So it's really interesting to learn more about how, you think the story is going to be one thing, and you think you know exactly what you're doing with it, and then you start interviewing and you're like, okay, this is going in a completely different direction.
And you can And with any way that you tell a story, you can tell it in a totally different way. I mean, if you guys sat down at the drawing board tomorrow, you could tell it in a totally different way. It could be a completely different story. Does this, how do you think this story will resonate with people who are watching? Because, you know, she's rare. There aren't that many UFC fighters out there.
Well, we want it to, she is rare, she's super rare, and she's very driven, but we want it to resonate with people who are struggling, who are having a tough time, that, you know, you can turn things around if you work hard enough. We also want it to resonate with people in the Central Valley. She always says, you know, you can be from a small town and still make big noise, and that's one of her biggest things that she wants, you know, for us to learn, is that you don't have to just be stuck in one spot. Even if you live in a small town or in the Central Valley here, you can still do big things.
Well, I think, you know, that's why we have the Big Tell, so that you guys can tell these big stories from the Central Valley. Well, Jackie and Zach, thank you so much for being here today. We will have all the information about how you can watch their documentary. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.